The topic of today's video is how to maximize your profits while shopping at estate sales. First tip is to get there early on the day that you're gonna go. My advice would be to look at the photos, see what you want, get an idea of where in the house those items are located, like for instance if they're in the kitchen or the basement or the garage. If you don't mind waiting in lines, be there before the estate sale opens. Get in line so that you can get into the house, because sometimes at estate sales, especially like really good ones, people can get a little bit pushy and shovey, which I think is rude, because at an estate sale, a lot of times that means that the person who owned the house has passed away. That's the whole idea of an estate, and we want to remain respectful. So I'm not one to be rude or get pushy and shovey or anything like that. For me, this is a side hustle, and even if it weren't a side hustle, I would never be disrespectful toward the people who passed away, whose stuff that everyone is like scrounging through. Next tip is bring your own things to wrap with. I save all of my bubble mailers from Amazon, and I bring stuff to wrap with in a big bag. I would also recommend going on the last day, which will often be 75% off or 50% off. However, that means that a lot of the stuff is going to be gone and picked through. Anyway, we're going to an estate sale in Stone Mountain, Georgia, in the Smoke Rise community. It is a lovely area with a lot of really beautiful homes. And let's see what we can find. And hopefully I will be able to put some of these strategies into effect and maximize my profits for my antique and vintage booth. These are the listing photos, and these are the items that I want to look for in the sale. The first is this picture. You will see a casserole dish with some vegetables on the top. I like the looks of that. And in the back left corner of this picture, there are some red and white plates. So that is interesting. And then in this picture, you'll see this very interesting display with all kinds of knickknacks on it. And then I'm also interested in these brass bookends in a seashell shape. Oh, try saying that 10 times fast. In this picture, I'm interested in that cast iron cornbread pan. I also like the looks of that trivet with the primary colors on it behind the cornbread pan. And then if you look in the top right corner of the photo, you will see some Pyrex in the pattern Forest Fancies. And then finally, this photo, I really like that sifter with the ducks on it. So let's see if any of these items are still here. The first room is the kitchen, and I've spotted a cool 1970s plate that I like. This is by Sango, and it is $10, but everything today is going to be 75% off. Right over here on the kitchen counter, there's a lot of clear glass. I really like the flower pattern on these. They're asking $4 a piece on these, but with the discount, it's just $1 each. Well, here is the cornbread cast iron, no price. And here is this, one of the things I came looking for. It is enormous. It's so much bigger than it was in the photo. And look at this Keebler cookie jar, a couple more cookie jars. I'm in the family room, and they have tables set up. There are a lot of pictures on this table. This to be a Chinese one. This is Mikasa bone china. So quite the little collection of pictures. Also in the family room, there is a massive collection of carousel music boxes. Not sure if those would sell for me in the booth. Probably not. They are a very niche item. Pretty little demi-tasse cup, $10. I like this decorative plate with the gold and the ducks. It's got a plate hanger on it. I want to talk more about plate hangers later in this video. Some Asian influenced dishes, or I should say Asian dishes. This is pretty. Uh-oh, did I break something? Okay, no, it's just a button. Thank goodness. I didn't break anything. Pick the button up for whatever purpose the button is there for. Party light. I do like that. Pretty little butterfly picture. It's signed by the artist. And I'm headed into a lovely sun porch. Here is some Lennox Christmas. It is so lovely, and it is being sold as a set. Otherwise, I would probably pick up the butter dish. I love the butter dish. And maybe the cookie tray. All right, lots of depression glass at this sale. And still a lot of it left. There's a cream and sugar. I don't believe those sugar bowls are supposed to have lids. These are plastic. I saw those in the photos and thought that they were pretty, but thought that they might be plastic, and they are. I really do like this pink glass. I'm probably gonna get some pink glass. There's a lot to choose from. Look at this massive punch bowl set. These are very difficult to sell because people just don't make punch anymore as much as they used to. Let's see, it's hard to tell if they're asking what they're asking for the desk and the chair. I don't need any furniture, but I really like the desk. I'm in the basement now, and I've spotted this blue planter. With the discount, this would only be $5. It's not marked. It's very dirty, but I think it would look lovely once I wash it really well. And it doesn't have any chips or cracks. It has got good drainage for the plant. I think I'm gonna get this. All right, let's go. It's such a pretty day today to be outside. There is probably 100 cars at this sale. It was hard to find a spot. Let's see what's back here. Not much, but there is an upstairs of camping stuff.
That's true. There's a bed.
So
Yeah, that's a good price. Well, if you don't, doesn't want to meet the need, just wait till the next one.
well,
All right, back in the house, sewing patterns and some fabric. Be pretty for quilters. I decided to take another look in the kitchen. I like these little glasses with the etched bamboo and just Asian design on them. Those are pretty. There's just so much clear glass here, though. Here's some Easter bunnies. Oh, Dollar Tree. Okay, I'm gonna leave those. More Christmas dishes, more of a everyday Christmas dishes. So they got their fancy ones and their Lennox ones, and they have these butterfly dishes, flower dishes. And I just wanted you to see how much clear glass is here. There is a ton of it, and it doesn't look like a lot of it has been chosen. Nothing quite as creepy as a doll who has a cracked face and skull, and one who is left to suffocate in this plastic bag. Poor dears. Here's some more primitive looking dolls at much lower prices. I actually like these a lot better. I do not need any books, but you know I had to look, especially for vintage cookbooks. One of my obsessions. I don't know much about vintage clothes, but I would imagine with the 75% discount that this would be a good deal for a clothes reseller. It's really pretty. And here's a skirt. Both at $125. These pictures with the basins are something I don't know a ton about, but given this one is $295, I'm guessing this is special. All right, I need to decide what pink glass I'm going to get. In the dining room is a whole bunch more in this diamond pattern.
Beautiful. Great.
There's more clear glass on this side. Pretty mismatched candlesticks. I like the smaller one, but there's only one. And a third set of Christmas china. That is a lot of different sets of Christmas china. None of it has sold. No one's interested in buying a whole set. So I managed to get a few things at this sale, including a plate rack that I'm going to show you when I get home and get everything out for the haul. All right, so was I able to utilize my own strategies to maximize my profits at this estate sale? I would say yes and no. Yes, in that I was there on a 75% off day, the last day, so I did get some good prices on things that will increase the profit margins that I'm able to get when I sell these things. But no, in that I didn't get there early enough on the last day. When I saw the number of cars that were out in the street, I had a hard time finding a place to park. There were easily 100 cars out there, and the sale was very crowded. It was a popular sale because there was a lot of nice stuff at the sale. There was a lot of stuff that was gone when I got there. I should have gotten in line to get in, at 9 a.m. But I didn't get there early, and therefore I only spent $14.50 at the sale. And so here's what I got. The clear glass stemware is by Westmoreland, and it is pressed glass in the pattern paneled grate. So these were produced anywhere from 1948 to 1985, and I paid with a discount just $1 a piece for these. I ended up getting 6 of them. And replacements.com has these for $10 a piece, so that is what I plan to price these for in my antique booth. Next is the mystery blue pitcher. The fact that they had $20 on this would indicate that they thought it was something special, but there's just no way to tell what this is because it's not marked. When I put it into Google Lens suggested that it might be Weller pottery. However, it is not. Weller pottery has an embossed stamp. I'm going to show you a picture here of what their stamp looks like. It does have a McCoy look to it, but McCoy also has a stamp. And even when their stamp doesn't say McCoy, based on my understanding, that it will still say USA on the bottom with a model number. So this one has absolutely nothing unless it did have a sticker at some point that came off. So I paid with the discount $5 for this, and I really like it, and I think it's going to clean up really beautifully. If I don't put this in the booth, I'm just going to keep this for myself. I still have, some dreams of repotting projects that I want to do and displays that I want to make. So this, I will just put $20 on it in the booth. I'll put exactly what they had it for originally at the sale, since I don't know what it is. This was laying on the floor in the basement, and I grabbed it because if you've been watching my channel, you'll know that I have been wanting to make a plate wall on my focal point wall, on my pegboard wall in the back of my booth. That would mean that I might need to take down my painting that I currently have because it takes up a lot of room. And so my husband was nice enough to go to Michael's and buy me these plate hangers. These are tension loaded springs, and they stretch to fit the size of the plate. I've had a couple people comment and say, please don't use those. It creates stress fractures in the plates, and I could see how that could happen. This is just an everyday plate that I have. It's Japanese stoneware. I don't have a whole set of these, but I just wanted to show you what the plate hanger looks like. And then I would be able to stick a hook under here and hang these up on my pegboard walls. However, now that I have this, and by the way, I paid just $1.25 for this. It holds 4 plates, and I have another one in my booth that I have had for years and no one has bought. I think if I put both of them up there, it holds 3 plates, then I will be able to create a plate wall, possibly without using the plate hangers with the tension loaded springs on them. I might do a combination of things. I might try a couple of these plus my plate display racks. I don't really necessarily want to sell this, so I will put NFS for not for sale on this, at least for a while, until I see how my idea is going to go. You know, my idea is that people will pick plates off of this and then I can just go and put more plates in. So I just think it would be really pretty. And I'm super excited about finding that just laying on the floor. They were giving good prices at the register for things that were not marked. And I would say this is something I didn't mention, but another strategy for doing well at estate sales is to know which companies that are going to put on a good sale. And this was one of them. This estate sale company is called Crystal Clear Estate Sales, and I've been to their sales before, and everything was priced, almost everything. Now, they had a sea of this clear glass all over the kitchen, right? And they didn't have to put a sticker on every single one, but they put a sticker on, like every 4th one, so that you would know that the ones that are this shape and size are $4. That one estate sale that I went to where nothing was priced, I remember the name of that estate sale company, and I will not be going to one of their sales again. So that's another tip I would say. Know which estate sale companies are going to provide a good sale and put in the work that it takes to provide a good sale, and know which ones you don't prefer. So these were not priced. But when I got to the register, she said that these were only $3 a piece. So 75% off that, these were only 75 cents a piece. I got 3 of these. I probably could have gotten a little bit more of the pink glass, but I have noticed that unless it's a wine glass or something, if it's a sherbet glass, people don't really serve fancy dessert anymore, but people will serve their guests, drinks in fancy stemware. So these are teacups though, and I just thought they were pretty. Jeanette glass, so these are Depression era glasses. The pattern is a diamond pattern, and these should sell for $9 a piece in my booth. Only paid 75 cents a piece for these. All right, well, that's it. Like I said, I only spent $14.50, but I think that was $14.50 well spent. It's not the end of the world. There's going to be a whole lot more estate sales this spring and summer, and I will be sure to take you along on those adventures as well. Okay, so coming up down the pipeline, I will take you along in my booth when I create my plate wall. And I do have a cat of the day for us today. So today's cat of the day is a kitty named Colin. Isn't he a handsome dude? Okay, Colin's was a winner of the week for this calendar. Amanda Roberts from Cedar Park, Texas knew she had a keeper when she saw this tabby. Colin was one of 3 kittens born to a neighborhood cat. He was so fearless and so affectionate, and we fell in love with him right away. But every charmer has a weakness, and for Colin, it's coice. He will bury his face in your hair, purr, and paw at it. If you're wondering whether this addiction gets him banished from the bed, think again. It's really soothing, Amanda says. So here is this handsome boy, Colin. I hope you enjoyed today's estate sale trip and that you found the video valuable in terms of how to maximize your profits at estate sales just by applying a few strategies. If you enjoy this type of content, please subscribe to the channel. It's free to subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, but it really does help me with my channel. And as always, I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.